Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Mary and Sam Show. We're delighted that you could join us. We're continuing on something we started a couple weeks ago, and that was the 7 reasons or the 7 steps of failing forward. And we're on step number 2. Today's, tell us, Mary, what do you want to say about that?
Today we want to focus on the concept is do not point fingers at others. I think this concept is so important, and I think all of us, we do this so many times in our lives. What we originally want to talk about is, fear of failure is the biggest fear that everyone faces, because in life we do have roadblocks. We have circumstances, sometimes outside of our control, that stop us from succeeding, from achieving our goal, from accomplishing our dreams. And it's like this, if you have a burn on your finger, a bad burn, and what happens? You get a blister.
Right.
And the next few days it really burns, right?
Yeah.
If I get even a feather and run it across your finger, what's going to happen?
I'm going to jump.
You're going to jump. And so even a very light feather will cause for you to jump because you have a burn in your hand.
Right.
And I think in life, that's what happens. Sometimes something happens that we get burned, maybe in our heart or in our mind, something that we really had a desire to accomplish. Maybe someone opened a business, maybe someone was excited about a relationship, maybe someone really was so excited about accomplishing a goal, and something happened. Maybe you got sick, maybe you got hurt, maybe economy turned. Maybe something happened that stopped you from achieving that goal or achieving that dream.
Right.
So what happens is when something happens that stops us, we are fearful. We don't want to go back and achieve that goal because we're fearful that we might fail again. And that stays in our subconscious mind, in our emotional, subconscious mind. So we're always fearful to move forward.
Yeah, it's like what you said. It's like when you get burned and there's so subconsciously your brain registers that feather going across a burned spot as a very painful situation. Next time you want to, now that sets the baseline in your head.
Yeah.
Next time you come across something and oh my God, if I get burned and the feather touches me, I'm not even going to try.
Right.
Because now you've set that tone in your head.
Right, exactly. And that same reason is going to stop us from accomplishing more, being more, doing more, reaching your goal. Because the brain always focuses on pain and pleasure. When something is painful, we want to avoid. When something is pleasure, we want to move forward. But how many times do we go through life, have roadblocks, have circumstances that have stopped us, right? Like right now, I see in my coaching practice, because the real estate market is starting to shift, right? So people are right now, it's kind of talking about blaming things, pointing fingers. So people are talking about, well, the market is kind of shifting, and we talk about that could be the roadblock that could stop us from doing what we want to do. Because we have to be very careful. Yes, it is a fact, but it can't be the deciding factor, because you have to be careful, because that psychology in the head keeps getting built that, well, the economy has changed, the cycle of real estate has changed.
Right.
It's because of that. It's easier to point fingers, right?
And this reminds me of what Jim Rohn said. Jim Rohn is a great man who, if you guys ever get a chance to read his books, I would highly encourage you to look him up. But Jim Rohn says, in life, you need to change your philosophy in order to succeed. Because he equates it this way. He says, think about a farmer.
Yeah.
They have the land or the soil, okay? They have the nutrition or the water that feeds the plants. And you have the seed and you have the sun. Now, if you start to blame all of those things and say, oh, it's the land, it's the water, it's the sun, it's the seed, you're basically blaming everything that you have, your most basic elements. And when we blame things, it doesn't help you get any better.
No.
So now all we can do is just say and replace those things, like replace the land with the government, replace the air with the economy, replace the sun with it's my job or my career. And what he says is if you change your philosophy and let that all go aside, you can't keep blaming your basic elements. You need to start to look inward and say, don't wish it were easier. Wish that you were better.
Right.
So this is what you need to think about as a strategy going forward. Instead of blaming others, blaming this, blaming that. Oh, we have a tariff war. We got this guy in office, blah, blah, blah. No, it's all noise.
Right. Right. You know, this brings a really good example in my head that I experienced when I first became a coach. I was very excited. I really wanted to become a successful coach to help people see results.
Right.
And I noticed that I was trying very hard, and I could get some feedback from coaching clients that some of the feedback were negative, that they weren't seeing results. And you know what? You can't help it but to think like, well, it's so-and-so. This person has more mindset struggles. This person has this. So I started to try to blame the clients that, well, this is not the best client for me. And then I realized I'm pointing fingers at somebody else.
Right.
Where I could go, and the concept you said, don't wish it was easier, wish that you could be better. Like, how can I improve? What can I do to help this individual more? And sure enough, it started with me and it ends with me, because today that concept doesn't exist. Clients do see results is because I went back to see what am I doing that is not helping that individual.
Absolutely. And this can be applied to any area of your life. It doesn't have to be just in your work, or you could apply it to your relationship with your spouse. You could apply this to your relationship with your kids, or your relationship with the higher power, God, whatever you believe in. Any one of these things, it's because of what you do will put out. Whatever you're putting out is what you're going to get back.
Right.
So the moral of the story is, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better.
And when you point fingers at somebody else, maybe that moment pause and think about how can you improve next time around, so then you are in a better place mentally, physically, emotionally, finally creating a happy and successful life.
All right. Well, that ends our show this time. Please like, share. I like to love, personally. So like and share, and pass this on to somebody else who could use this message right at this time. The only way we can get this word out is if you guys share. So please do me a favor and share.
Thank you. Till next time.